video, I'm going to share my very first Kundalini awakening that happened nearly 4 years ago, and I did it with inner work. It wasn't yoga, it wasn't a miracle, it wasn't an accidental thing. It was achieved with inner work. I had multiple awakenings ever since, and I have a longer video in the description box below where I share all of them. Hi, my name is Rita Simon, and you're watching the series Awaken, where I take mystical concepts and my mystical experiences and translate them with science. So this very first one was accidental in a sense that I had no idea what I was doing, and I never heard of Kundalini awakening. I didn't do meditation, I didn't do yoga. What I did was a very serious inner work with a relationship I had that was a twin flame connection. The other person mirrored my negatives. And when I put together my previous way of seeing things, the way I see now, how he was, so I fired up, this is what I believe, different parts of my brain at the same time very rapidly, and also the emotional part of the body, so the nervous system very rapidly. My understanding is that this actually triggered a integration, because before this experience I was actually a very heady person, and then later on during this relationship I became a more impulsive body-based person. And what I did, I integrated my previous version that was triggered by this person with my current version. So basically I became, when I moved down my own shadow, and I integrated these two separate parts of myself, and this mind-body integration triggered this Kundalini awakening. So how did it look like? So this thinking process I've done, that was during daytime, and this experience happened in the evening, and every single mystical experience I ever had, it was always in the evening. So I believe it's related to delta brainwaves, and delta brainwaves are the lowest brainwaves. They are our unconscious, and every single time when I have any experience, it runs through in the middle. So they say the Kundalini, when I look this up, runs along the spine. I never experienced it along my spine. It's always right in the middle, and it goes out at this part of the head, and it's the somasensory cortex that is actually is able to feel frequencies. And the sensation was that the energy went up in my body, but not in one area, like all over my body. And it was like a shift very rapidly, and I felt it in every single cell of my body, and every single cell of my body felt equal. There was no difference. And I felt this huge power in me that I could do anything, like a Superman, and I could go through walls. Of course, I never tried, and I'm pretty sure I couldn't have done that, but this very interesting sense. The second thing that happened was this Kundalini line that I could feel. That is, I believe, our unconscious, and this is where the energy is running. That became very strong, so this fired up, but at once. It didn't run up or down, it fired up at once, and I could move that with my mind up and down, and I could stop it wherever I wanted. The third thing what happened was this, from my heart, it was like this huge, there was this energy blowing constantly, and that went on for 24 hours. And I felt this sense that I was connected to everything, and everything was connected to everything. The fourth thing that I saw was my own aura. So my aura was this huge glowing, and it was glowing in the dark. It looked so amazing. And I could see these energetic waves everywhere. It was really like underwater, and anywhere I looked, this is what I saw. And The fifth thing was that I felt this urge. Like, you know, when you are hungry and you want to eat, this was the same thing, that I had this inner urge, but for meditation. And it was weird for me because I have never meditated before. And I didn't really know how to do it. The only thing I did, I sat on my bed, like exactly in this way. I closed my eyes, and as soon as I closed my eyes, I had this amazing visions, this huge contrast, that everything was really, really dark, darker than dark, but not scary dark. And as an opposite, the colors, the visions, lots of patterns, they had these, they were just so amazing and glowing colors that don't exist here. And I'm not saying that colors that we don't have here, it's like the resolution or the way you see is just much more intense. It's like comparing like how a movie looked like made in the 1940s or 50s, and now how it looks like when you watch it in HD. That is just so much brighter. The sixth thing about this is that the visions were these amazing geometric patterns, and also my eyes were vibrating at a very, very high frequency. So it just looks so blissful and amazing, and I am so pissed at myself that I didn't write down what I saw. And if you have this experience, please do. Maybe they have important information, I'm not really sure, but apart from the amazing patterns, I actually saw different visions. The only thing I remember is seeing our planet, and it had all of these replicas about it, and it's like having unlimited amount of planets, and they came out one of each other. Probably that meant or tried to symbolize the multiverse, that there are many probabilities existing at once. I'm not really sure what that meant. The seventh thing was that I felt this amazing bliss, this amazing euphoria, and everything was at peace. And that was just such a wonderful feeling, and I wish I could be in that feeling always. And that was the feeling also of wholeness. And ever since that experience, I always feel whole. So the feeling of wholeness stayed in me, and that was nearly 4 years ago. That didn't change. Only this euphoric, ecstatic feeling went away. And the eighth thing was that, because I was sitting there with closed eyes like this and just observing all of this, that I had this inner knowing. So it's not really a sensation, it's like you know, and you cannot deny it, you cannot override it with your brain. That there is something above you, and that is a lot not stronger, but higher than you, like higher intelligence, and you can trust that whatever that thing is. And later on I asked, because after this experience I started channeling, and I asked what that thing was, and it said that was what I felt was consciousness. And of course I wanted to understand what this experience was, because I'm very scientific. So I did a lot of research, and I came across Joe Dispenza, who runs workshops where they do all of these Kundalini awakening, whatever, yoga or breathing. I'm not really sure what he does exactly, to be honest, but he said this, and actually it matched and explained my experience, that daytime we have serotonin, and that's the pineal gland in the brain that produces it, and in the evening that's serotonin. So the serotonin makes you happy. That's a happy hormone. That's why people who live in countries where there is not much sun, they become depressed. So that serotonin, because it's the same hormone material or neurotransmitter, turns into melatonin, and melatonin makes you sleep, but that's only in the evening time. And when it turns again, so it can turn, but it doesn't turn automatically. When it turns again, it actually turns into something, I forgot the name, but this is what the electric eels have, and that's the thing that gives these very amazing visions where everything looks just like out of this world. And when it turns again, that's when it turns into DMT. And when I looked up DMT experiences, what they saw and how they try to explain, mine actually matched that. And I'm going to tell you two things, and one of them will probably really give you the chills. It really gave me the chills. So the first one, the following day when I woke up, this experience went away, and this is the very first thought I woke up with, that there is only one feeling, and that is fear. And every single emotion, every single feeling we feel is just an expression of it. And later on I understood, it took me nearly 4 years, that it represents these disintegrations that is in us and also in reality. And this is the line that gave me the freaking chills. So I got connected to my true self. It called itself my true self, and I'm going to have a separate video what that means because it explained what that is. And I asked my true self, why did I wake myself up? And this was the answer. I have no idea who that we is. We need mass awakening. Crazy, right? See you in my next video.